most. Ain't no half stepping, see you at the crossroads.
Money over on my install. Here lies them getting paid for. Never take a loss on my install. Only take a when I'm dead. I be gang 3 times on my install. Been from the cradle to the grave. Now your favorite rapper name on the install. Too late, you already lived.
It was written in the children's story. Their life's a so what you want? Every day I struggle with it. Only God could tell me slipping. I'm infinitely big through the genesis. Dead presidents, drop a gem on them. On earth, these the last days. Throw your get money, quiet storm. Have a thoughts for the cream renegade. For the money, only green is the. I'm a player on the late night till.
This is Matt.
From the oldest capital city in the Americas, founded in 1325, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Mexico City. Coming up, another edition of the NFL International Series, and it should be a good one, between the New Orleans Saints and the Mexico City Diablos. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. This is Derrick Henry, and he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 12 carries, 57 yards.
And to me, the goal is the exact same thing as last week. Get him the ball early and often. I think he's got another big game in him in this one. Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He gets this one complete to Traquan Smith. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
All right, here we go. Green 39, green 39.
They'll look to throw. Now he's flushed out left. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
And him running the football is not something that defenses spend a lot of time preparing for. But this guy has a survival instinct and a knack for knowing when exactly to do it.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed. Boom.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. The numbers for him from a week ago. And Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. That's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
Now they try the right side here. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
He just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
They'll drop to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a game in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that open things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good. That middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well. And he's got it.
His first catch, good for 16 and a first.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position, because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now a handoff looking right. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
About 3 yards there to the 27.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And down inside the 15 he goes. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two, because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Now this drive, they're 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions, but they need 7 yards here. Back to throw here. This will be caught at about the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. They're going to look to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. in for the score. And his guys have taken a first-quarter lead. Big fourth-down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go?
Oh, it's blocked. Elliott now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. And that one results in 35 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play moves them all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Now let's go. 3-19.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. They set up the screen for Henry. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Only 3 there on the screen at 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger game. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Looking to throw. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit, right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
And they'll run it here. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was...
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Mexico City football to begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out.
Now let's go.
They'll set up to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
The offense on third down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. He'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position. The ball comes out, there. That only helps the other team. But I look at it as maybe it's a double shot.
Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. He was trying to hit Thomas that time.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively, getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Over. Detroit. Hot.
He'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Back to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 3rd catch of this 1st half for him, and this one is a 1st down.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
They go play action here on 1st down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
Now back to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. And it was a tight window. He knew he had to rocket that thing in there. He got it done.
And when you're able to complete one like that, your confidence has to just go sky high. You just mentioned it. Tight window. Zings it in there despite excellent coverage. Result, touchdown.
So this drive spans 7 plays. Elliott now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown one interception. He wants to balance that off with at least one touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. They showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be second and very short.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half. So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
They'll set up a throw. Completes this one to Meredith. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
They'll look to throw here. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Taking it about the 16. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And he's had his chances in this game. He just hasn't been able to find any daylight so far.
Patience, patience, patience. And that's the hard part for a runner because they expect every run to be a big one for something to pop. So they have to sometimes go through the struggles before it happens for them later in the game. But you got to give credit to the rest of the team. They've worked around the fact that he hasn't had his normal big game.
Yeah, despite his struggles, still winning here in the second quarter. Going up top. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. And they'll go with a ground attack here. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. He'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
On now, Kaiser, the punter, sending it away. spotlight Derrick Henry now. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you've got a chance to come back to it when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Well, still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. My good friend Charles and I right back at you after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. They'll get this out to his running back, P-Ryan. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a third down. They'll drop it off to P-Ryan, complete. He gets 7 out of it, and he also gets a first.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
False start, offense.
Oh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Now let's go.
Back to throw again. Over the middle, that's caught by Meredith. That one good for 12 yards. And it'll be a second down. The Saints in the hurry up here, clock continuing to roll. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Green 39. Green 39.
On third down, Henry. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Here's Thomas Morstead now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will be taken at the 13th. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The clock showing just 16 seconds till the half as they line up first and 10.
Over. Now let's go.
Now a play fake here on first down. Trying to lay one up deep. This is caught inside the 15. And he'll be down deep into New Orleans territory. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. No move for the field goal unit. They're going to go here with 5 seconds left. They'll throw now on the final play. And that one's going to be over everybody in the back of the end zone. It's incomplete. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7. We'll get started up at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. And it's the Bengals who are out in front as those two head towards the break.
And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
And this offense on third down today, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 17. They'll look to throw. He's going to... They've got his man complete. 30. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. It's a big play there on third down. 59 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Oh, it bowls right over him. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
All right, here we go. 3-19! 3-19!
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 12. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12.
All right, here we go. Green, 39!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line.
That's his second sack of the game. The best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. So they've put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
Yeah, current formula is not working right now. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. The linebacker, Anthony Hitchens, there on the stop. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving.
Watch him now, Barney!
And they'll run it here. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
And on the ground they go with a running back. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
Going absolutely nowhere. He'll wind up losing a yard or 2. He needed a couple, but he didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And the Saints will have the football back. So he needed the short yardage, Charles. He elected to try to bounce it outside of the outer third, unsuccessful.
Sometimes those plays are stacked up by the defense and there's nowhere to go, so you have to bounce it outside. And some backs just get impatient. They want to go to where they think there's more open territory instead of going where the play was actually blocked. In any case, it didn't work here.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. On second down, here's Henry. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him today.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Dane Cruikshank, and they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He spins free, and they're running right through it. Past the 20. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A big run there, 29 yards and a first. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. They'll drop to throw. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. The offense on third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 7. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup. It's still a few chain links short, it appears, with 4th down coming up. Back now in Mexico City, as it looks like we are just about set and ready to begin with the 4th. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
Now they try the right side here. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. 2nd effort there. He was determined to find pay dirt, and he did.
I think that's a great example of what coaches talk about, a back that runs behind his pads, and he uses pads to get him into the end zone.
Elliott good with a PAT, and that pushes the lead up to 23. The drive summary that time, 5 plays, and it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Elliott now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
And he is going to be wrapped up and slung to the turf.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury.
All right, here we go. 319. 319.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
He dumps it off for Henry. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Back to throw here. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball. When you put up a token press, make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat. So they look like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for second and goal. They come out here in the eye. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a third and goal.
What a game this defense has played. They're pitching a shutout, so it'd be fun to watch down the stretch to see if their defensive coordinator continues to be as aggressive as he's been all game long.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
They're going to look to throw. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Traquan Smith, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Saints get a bit closer. And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. Protect. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Set. Green, 39.
Now a handoff looking right. And some room to run now. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown. A big play there with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead is now 24. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. 1 play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their 3rd of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they missed a golden opportunity.
Goes underneath for Henry. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just one
order, they got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 23 yards on the play.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover 1. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
Looking to throw. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Now let's go. Blue Lightning. Blue Lightning.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Henry's got it out on the left side. And he'll get it down here to the 43. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Green 39. Green 39.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
And Lutz's kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. And that right there is something we've seen, 15 times in NFL history. That will officially go down as a 60-yard field goal.
And everything has to be absolutely perfect for this to have any chance. He's got to get it out low and really drive through it. And I tell you, that was one heck of a kick. One heck of a decision on the sideline to even try it as well.
Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Wide open receiver complete. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're heading towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And that is incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. That one looks like he'll throw here. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about.
Pass interference. Defense.
Trying to defend the out route there. Got the PI call.
And you know what's difficult about that one is sometimes you want to make the undercut move and go for the football, and other times just want to hang on the upfield shoulder and make the tackle. I think he got caught in between and created a foul.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And no signal yet. I don't think he got in. He didn't. They'll mark him at the 1. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
No, check. Patriot! Patriot!
He'll get it up the middle. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. Punching it in from a yard away. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Elliott good with a PAT, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Elliott now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Let's go! 3-19!
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Looking again for Thomas, this time complete. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play. And prior to this 3rd and 2 play, we're going to get a timeout call, as he'll get it with still 1:20 left to go in the game. The Saints on 3rd down. They've had a lot of chances, but not much success, converting only 3 times. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll look to throw here. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. Oh, he takes it in, doesn't let it bounce. He takes it at the 2. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now this offense about ready to take over again.
And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Now they try the right side here. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. The 4th down pass play doesn't work out. And the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the 4th, but they didn't get it.
Guaranteed, it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Traquan Smith with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Saints make some inroads here to that deficit.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team. But I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney! Now let's go!
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. He's going to try and go deep again. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
3-19! 3-19! Leopard! Leopard! Over!
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. He's going to go for a big play down, and that's caught inside the 30. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for the home team here, they remain one of the hottest teams out there as the win moves them to 6-1. And now it's off to the airport for a date with Customs and a long flight north to the U.S. Meanwhile, for the Saints, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3-3. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
If the squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Yeah. Hey, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Same squad, same squad, same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big back plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big back plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Same squad, same squad, same squad. Cross move quick like AI. Chain shine bright like daytime. Stack big bread like waist high. I don't do lanes. Little watch out like 2 chains. I done switch. Bang at the crit, do things. I came up, who I was down with. You change up, stay far from around me. I came up, who I was down with. You change up, stay far from around me. Same squad, same squad, same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big back plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Same squad, same squad, same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big back plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Yeah, no it ain't, they ain't talking cash, so I did the race. NASCAR with the pace, get you water on the chain. Get no love where I'm from. When I'm on the beat, I make it on. I need that bread like every crumb. Came up from nothing, made it some. I came up, who I was down with. You change up, stay far from around me. I came up, who I was down with. You change up, stay far from around me. Same squad, same squad, same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big back plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Same squad, same squad, same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big back plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Ay, 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 ay.
Hey, what's up, gang? Let me go secure for the game right quick. Hey, what's up, gang? I got it. I think it's my fault. Keep the rest. Hey, I got that check-in to go. I'm gone. A lot of these look lost. They broke. They think it's my fault. No car. I want that caught. I'm dripping. I'm stuck with the sauce. Good drip. But she love you. Don't cut your. Reynolds Da Vinci is white. Limited Louis, that's light. Rape in the city, that's light. LED, look at the light. We the ones don't like. But you look too light. Why even play with your light? Bank account looking like yikes. I went from filling out kites to putting it in my block. Blue Gucci sweater is drill. Somebody give me a. These ain't like the cops. Gossiping more than a.